Next, we want to invite up, come on, some noise, guys. Here we go. Up next for the next lightning talk, help me welcoming Dave Staples, Focus Missionary, and started the first Colorado Men's Forum in Fort Collins.
Bam. Hey, thank you. This is awesome. You know what I want? I want a photo of all of you with me right here, right now. Can we get that? But you know what I want? I want the war cry. Are you ready? Are we going to do this? Here we go. Ready? War cry. Oh, somebody's calling me. That doesn't work. Well, let's try that again. They'll have to try again later. Here we go. All right, ready? Switch hands. 3, 2, 1. Give it. Yeah. Bam. Hey, that's cool. Thank you. I love that. I will treasure that and take that home with me because this is special. You've got something really special here. I've got 8 kids at home. So my house is a glimpse of hell. Jesus described hell as wailing and gnashing of teeth. That's exactly what my wife's dealing with in Cincinnati right now. So it's even more of a joy to be with you all. And man, I'm trying to disciple those kids, you know. The 1-year-old's super cute. The 15-year-old, he just smells bad. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But I actually want to tell a story of bringing a friend to encounter with Jesus. And when I share kind of what happened here, right, when I started to evangelize, my first thought was, get him a book. Anybody do that? And I got him a book. 20 years later, I have not seen that book in his house. I'm sure he used it to start a bonfire or something, you know? But I share this story because we all have friends and family and people in our hearts that we wish could encounter the Lord and live their faith and live this faith that we treasure and cherish. And we feel like we wish we could do something, right? And we don't know what to do. And we can do a few things. The first thing we should do is pray for them. And this should be a comfort to us to know that their conversion is not all on us. That it's actually our Lord who's at work in their hearts. The first paragraph of the catechism, which means it's like one of the first things that our faith wants us to know, right? Is that at every time and in every place, God reaches for the heart of man. It's amazing. At every moment, no matter where you are, he's reaching for your hearts. And those people you love dearly, he loves them even more than you do, and he's reaching for their hearts. So pray for them. But you know what else you can do? You can offer up anything for them that you cannot change, did not choose, do not like, or do not understand. And man, life's hard sometimes, right? That's a long list of things. And we can offer it up with our Lord's sacrifice for them, for those who we love, and for us. Step 3, I know what you're thinking. When is he going to get to buying him a book, right? No, it's not buying him a book. But you know what? Somebody bought me a book once, and they planted a seed, and I came back to the book, and it was awesome. But step 3, just try the door on more meaningful conversation. You know about the more important things in life. However you get there, right? Like, you know, where did you grow up? And did you go to church growing up? Like, what was your faith life like growing up? What's it like now? Why? Do you have a relationship with the Lord? So I want to share this story with a friend of mine, and I kept trying the door, and the door was locked. But that's okay, because I knew it's something I could fall back on, and I knew ultimately it was up to him, and I kept going back to praying and sacrificing and just loving on him. Because the deepest desire of the human heart is to be known and loved and cared about and understood. And so I know at least through me, right, he might be experiencing the love of the Lord. So I just kept loving on him. I just kept trying the door. This went on for 10 years. And then one day, and I'd spent some time with him, I was visiting him, and I was about to leave, right? I was going to leave the next morning, and we'd had a nice time together. We were both about to hit the hay, and I was like, maybe I'll just try one more time. And I was like, hey, I got this great bourbon. If anybody knows me, I live near Cincinnati, which is super convenient because I love bourbon, so the bourbon trail's not far away. I got to talk in Louisville in February, and I'm like, what distilleries am I hitting, you know, right around this talk? And I was like, I got this great bourbon. Why don't we try it? He was like, absolutely. We popped it, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm so impressed by you. You've made all these incredible decisions. Again, I'm loving on him. First step at creation, right? First thing God does when he creates you, what does he do? You are very good. He affirms what's good. The first step of love, to confirm what's good in the other. And so I'm just affirming him, right? And then I'm like, you've made all these incredible decisions. He had really turned his life around. I was like, how do you feel? He was like, you know what, Dave? Actually, I feel really empty. I feel like there's something missing. Kaboom. Now, I was like, I just took a little piece of my own testimony from when I felt similar. I couldn't completely relate. And I was like, yeah, I felt like that once. And actually, my faith ended up being the answer. And I was like, I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but I really think you just give Christianity a try. What if, I'm flying back, but what if we just talk on the phone every couple weeks and maybe for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or maybe after 2 weeks you hate it, and that's fine. You know what? If he would have hated it, he knew it was okay because I still would have loved him, right? Because I'd shown him that. And I was like, hey, we'll just talk about this passage a little bit. And so we did that for several weeks, and eventually I taught him how to pray. And we kept spending time together, and he went through this profound conversion. And then a year later, he met this amazing Catholic woman, and now they're the most stellar Catholic couple I've ever met. But the miracles didn't stop there. These are real miracles, right? This is Lord healing the soul. And the miracles didn't stop there because his brother had made some decisions in his life. Let's just say he'd made some difficult decisions in his life. And so my friend started to reach out to his brother, right? And do some of this with his brother. And all of a sudden his brother came around. And he lived 3 years as a stellar Catholic. I remember his brother had this statue of St. Michael the Archangel on his desk for 3 years. It was awesome. He was a killer Catholic. And then his life was tragically taken. And I'm checking up on this family. This wasn't a real long time ago. And I'm checking up on this family. I'm texting my friend the other day. I'm kind of watching them deal with this tragedy from a distance. And my friend wrote this text to me the other day. I just want to share this with you. But every time I think about it, I start to choke up just a little bit. But he shared with me, he said in the text, he said, you know what, Dave? The Lord is turning our tears into joy slowly. We have hope. And man, if those conversions hadn't happened, I don't think I would have gotten that text. And I'm not sure they would have had that hope, right? And I just think this is the most incredible thing, what Luke Vergolone, my dear friend, and of course his family, right? And Andrea, what they've given to this mission and what Inferno men and their families have started to create here as a culture of encounter with Jesus. Because you don't even have to sit down with somebody one-on-one, right? And guide them through. Man, you have these amazing groups you can invite them to. What a culture. We can't do it out there in the culture on our own. The culture will constantly throw water on all of our drive, all of our ambition to seek the Lord. But we can do it together. So if you don't have a team, right, find somebody from Inferno and get your team. Or go online and find your team, right? And man, just start praying and sacrificing for people and trying to have that meaningful conversation and make that invitation. Just come check this out with me. And if they say no, right, or beloved relatives, right, say no, it's okay. Trust him, prayer and sacrifice. I love what you guys have done here. Thank you for that. Hey, thanks. It was good to hang out. Thanks for the photo.